Shalom, giving all praise here, how by Shemal Shai by Shem Kodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video World War III, Armageddon is at the door. And before I go into it, I just want to say a few words on every last one of you men, mainly the men, some of you women that have come across any of the videos dealing with the whole Israelite thing, you know, the whole, on YouTube, mainly the one West is the whole controversy about, you know, the Israelite thing is really with the one West. You know, if you start talking about black Israelites, black Hebrew Israelites, Israelites, you know, one West will come up. Abba Bivens will come up. GMS, IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari, groups like that will come up. And there's many splinter groups. You had this individual, Bishop Jessup, Jephthah, went left. Anyway, he was out there. He was part of the IUIC. Then he broke off from the IUIC and kind of patted himself after IUIC with the garments. You know, they all wore the uniform. They had a uniformity to them. They had a school. They basically what he did was, or literally what he did was, he didn't want to deal with the IUIC, but everything that he taught was based upon what he learned from the IUIC. But then he started going off. He said there was no miracles. The Lord, our Lord, never take water and turn into wine. The Israelites never went to the Red Sea. So he was just an old wine bottle that eventually burst. And before a wine bottle bursts, it leaks the wine. So you got an old wine bottle, you put new wine. If you put old wine in an old bottle, it's going to burst. It's the bottle, it's not the wine. That's the topic right there. It's the bottle, it's not the wine. Because the wine is the truth. But if you're an old wine bottle, it's going to seep out. And it seeped all the way out. When he went on Vocab Malone's platform, that there was no wine left. It was just a dry old wine bag. And there's an actual image of an old wine bottle. I'm not going to bring it up, but I did a video on it, and it showed the old ancient wine bottle. Anyway, you know, he fell off. He's gone. He's done. He was not of the elect. He was called, but he was not chosen. You have he was high priest Kazak. He's back. He came back. He been, you know, no one's seen him, and we talking almost 20 years, 5. We're talking almost 20 years. You know, and no one has seen him on YouTube. You know, certain brothers took videos when he was younger and put them up on YouTube. But he came out as, you know, on one of the YouTube pages. I think the Lion's Den. If you go to Lion's Den on YouTube, that's the newest video. And the Fopi did they did their own little thing on what they call Elder Kazak, which is, at that time was High Priest Kazak. We were all considered high priests. And when he came on the scene, he was saying that one of the main things that he said was the 12 tribe sign is wrong. The 12 tribe sign is wrong. And he said Dan should be on the tribe. So he's not teaching what he taught when he was back at One West. Oh, he's also teaching that there is an actual hell. So he's not teaching he doesn't accept the fact that Marshall is King David. Also, he says that he didn't even mention Yahweh Shai, so I don't know if he still calls on Yahweh Shai. Another thing, when a guy falls off, when they no longer pushes the name Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, that's a clear example that man, he's not one of us. So he said about David, the throne of David, he said the Lord is going to sit on the throne of David, not David. There's several scriptures that speak of David sitting on the throne. David is going to be the number one king, physical king, and over him will be Yahweh Shai. Yeah, he had mentioned. Let me get into the subject. Just bear with me. I'm just thinking out loud. He had said also, and on that platform in the interview that he said, the sole second command to the Messiah. He said no one is the second command to the Messiah. Well, there is an order, in the spiritual realm. Behind Yahweh Shai will be Michael. You read that in Revelation 12. Daniel chapter 12 speaks about Michael. So Michael, and as far as the order would go, Michael would be right behind Yahweh Shai. When you go to Daniel chapter 10, Michael, matter of fact, I'm going to go to it. Okay, let me bring this over. X this out. Daniel 10. Yeah, Gazak had, High Priest Gazak had mentioned, and I'll go to the videos. I caught it on Yashawamba, the Elder Yashawamba's video, one of the last videos he did last night sometime. And the High Priest Gazak, that was his title, so that's what I call him. He said something to the effect that the white man is the devil. You Jakes are the devil. Well, that's another video, another subject. Well, both Esau and Jake are devils, and any other nation who plays the part of the devil. We're going to go into that. We're going to go into the Greek, and we're going to go into the Hebrew. Anyone that falsely accuses you is a devil, will be a devil. Okay, so now let me do this. I'm all over the place, but that's all right too. There's lessons within lessons. So let me go to do a word search. Okay, Dan, you comforted. Give me a second here. Let me come to the top. Okay, let me go to the first verse, and I may jump around. I just might read straight to it. Okay, it says Daniel is terrified by a vision. In the third year of Cyrus, now the Hebrew, the word Cyrus is Karash, which means chosen, I believe. Let's go ahead and check that out. Kawarash. Cyrus possesses thou the furnace, the king of Persia and conqueror of Babylon, first ruler of Persia, to make a decree allowing the Israelite exile to return to Jerusalem and put the order in to finance the rebuilding. As Cyrus is mentioned here a bunch of times. It says here, possess thou the furnace. Okay, so now let's come back. So the building of the temple after the Babylonians burnt it down at the accusing of the Edomites. The Edomites were the main culprit in the thing. The Babylonian Empire was taken down by a surgical strike by the actual person that gave the order was Darius the Mede. Remember, there was a two nation kingdom, Medo-Persian Empire. Medes came up in power first, and the Persians became a greater power. I mean, that happens. You got China and Russia, right? So it says, in the third year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar, which is a Babylonian name that was given to Daniel the prophet. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing and had understanding of the vision. In those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. So he went on a fast, 3-week fast. Show you how diligent these prophets were. I want to jump down. Oh, you know what? Let me go over here. Let me jump to the 5th verse. Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning. And this was our Lord, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polish brass. Brass is what color? Brown. And the voice of the words like the voice of a multitude. So John saw the same thing, which I believe Daniel is most likely John. Because, you know, when you read about Daniel 7, Daniel 2, it sounds so similar to the revelations that John received. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. For the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. So what did our Lord do? Cause an earthquake, and so they can run, and made Daniel stay there so he can see the Lord. Therefore I was left alone and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, like he became sick, weak, and I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep, and my face toward the ground, on my face and my face toward the ground. Daniel comforted, 10th verse, Daniel 10 verse 10. And behold, an hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved. Why was he greatly beloved? Because he was a chosen of the Most High, an elect of the Most High, a prophet. Us doing this work, the spirit world honors us and roots for us. The dead souls of the prophets in the past, they root for us, because they're not catching no hell. We are. And I'm just say this: everybody, this guy, Sergeant Barnes, in the movie Platoon, he got mad. He cursed the guys out. He said, "I want every swinging prick in the field." Well, this is what mindset you're supposed to be in. You're supposed to be on maximum overdrive with this truth. Not scratching your head and wondering what to do, and your hands in your pocket and you holding up the wall. Any of you that are playing, I don't care if it's from the apostles. If an apostle's not doing this work, diligent in this thing, may the Most High destroy him. To the bishops, to the elders, to just men out there that's part of GMS that have, once you come into this, first of all, you're supposed to know the scriptures before you even become a part of. When you become a part of a GMS, you better know how to speak. You better know how to read. You better know them breakdowns, because that's what the videos are for. When you make a step to say, I want to be a part of a camp, that means you watch enough videos and you say, I got the confidence to go out there and speak. You know? We're not here to entertain you. So the scriptures speak about, being lukewarm or being cold. Most High only respects you if you're hot. You know? Your mom in the hospital, well, you visit her when you get chance to visit her, but the Most High come before your mama. So right now, we're in October 20th, 2023, year of hopeful prophecies all coming to pass. In the morning, I'm making this statement. Every last one of you that's in GMS supposed to be on fire some way or another. You're supposed to try to figure out how do I push this word out. I'm talking about from the apostles on down. If I'm lacking, if I'm not teaching this truth, if I'm taking time off, if I'm doing a disappearing act, fuck me. You understand? The hell with me. And the Most High said this. Yahushua said this to John. Revelation 3 verse 15 on down. He said, if you're lukewarm, you're going to spew you out of his mouth. Either be in it as truth 100% or don't be in it at all, hot or cold. If you're in the middle, you kind of do videos when you get up for it. You're not one of the elect. You're not one of the prophets of the Lord. Me, myself, I never turned my back on the plow. I've been doing this thing for going on 40 years. I've never turned my back on the plow. And behold, in hand, and I don't mean, let's say your mom is sick and she lives out of state and you got to go tend to your mom or your mother or your father, whatever, and you out there for 2 weeks and you running around, doing things, and you might not be able to get a video in, but you can still get a video in. But let's say, I'm not talking about something like that. I'm talking about a guy that just don't do nothing, but he wants to be a part of a camp. I'm talking about a guy that you ain't seen the guy in a whole year. Then all of a sudden he pops up like he never left. Some guys, 8 years, 10 years. Some guys, 20 years. The Lord sees everything through his angels. There's the new thing, pop-up prophets. We ain't dealing with no pop-up prophets. It says, and behold, and hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright. For unto thee am I sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Then said he unto me, fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand and to chasten thyself, that means you went on a fast, thyself before thy power, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. That's Yahushai. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia stood me 121 days, because he had a strong mind, because the Lord was trying to influence him to do his thing. And this man had a strong mind. It says, but lo, Michael, one of the chief princes. So Michael came in to influence the mind of the king of Persia. That's Job. What is that? Job 30 and 15, or Job 33 and 15. In sleep, and when deep sleep falleth upon a man, he sealeth their instruction. So this guy had a strong mind. Give you an example, the Jedi mind trick. The Jedi mind trick wasn't going to work on the king of Persia. It says, because ultimately the king of Persia, Cyrus, the Most High put the spirit on them to make the proclamation that the kingdom of Judah should build back the temple, and we're going to finance it. It said, but the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 120 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me. This is Yahushua speaking. And I remained there with the king. Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days, for yet the vision is for many days. So Daniel had visions that were going to take place hundreds of years in the future and thousands of years in the future. Daniel 8 was going to take place some hundreds of years in the future. Daniel 7 and Daniel 2, the last part of it is talking about now. What else? Daniel 11 took place hundreds of years later. Daniel 11, if anybody goes into Daniel 11 talking about this is going to happen, that's going to know. Daniel 11 took place. Daniel 8 took place. Part of Daniel 2 took place. We're at the end prophecies of Daniel 2. The feet and the stone, which represents Yahushua coming down with the angels to destroy this place. The feet of it is talking about Babylon the Great, the EU nations and NATO nations, and Russia, China, and so forth. So some of the prophecies of Daniel took place 100 years in the future. Some 100 years in the future. Well, you know what? Let's go to 600. Babylonian 600, 599, whatever. Let's jump to the time of Alexander. So that was how many years in the future? About 300 years in the future. So some of the prophecies of Daniel took place 300 years in the future, so he was long dead. But others took place, is getting ready to take place. So anyway, I went all into that. That was another lesson. But anyway, this is what I want to do. So this is a video that was put up by GMS Vegas Sit Downs 144K. The title is Increased Conflict in the East is Leading to the Third Woe, WWIII, World War III. So I'm not going to let you hear it because you know how YouTube do. Yeah, this is Israeli news live. There's a news station that I got. I think it's called I-24, which is Israeli news, and they pretty much tell the truth. You know, they pretty much give both sides. You know, I haven't watched. I got to start watching it just to get their perspective. Then like Al Jazeera, CNN, Fox News, these other new Bloomberg. Anyway, so it says, this guy's talking right here, right? It says border escalation, Israel targets Hezbollah. Now, I heard from, I did a video on Scott Ritter. He was comparing the 2,000 Marines coming to the Middle East, and he mentioned the Hezbollah, that they have a 100,000 man army that are war ready, war battle tested. Hezbollah positions in Lebanese town. Now, I'm gonna watch the news later, but what I'm picking up is there's a lot of protests around the world, and they're taking the side of the Palestinians, and there's a lot of back and forth, little mini riots between. You got one group representing Israel, you got the other group representing the Palestinians. But it seems like the world, according to certain news sites that you go to, the world is pretty much on the side of the Palestinians. So, like I said, I'm going to watch this today. So it says here, I'm not going to let you hear what he says. It says, stronger than they've ever been. And of course, we know that, let me go back. Okay, it says, on that border, but Hezbollah claiming they are 1,000 times stronger than they've ever been, And of course, we know that Iran has given, Hezbollah, I guess that is, has given Hezbollah some very remarkable missiles. Remarkable missiles to be able to use against the land of Israel. I'm just reading what he's saying. In fact, they do go to war with one another. A war with one another, and it does appear that that war is definitely an imminent type of situation. I've been told that the war in the Middle East is also going to be used to try to destabilize the economy of the economy of the U.S. Like I said, in light of the fact that Putin and this is the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, are meeting over the One Belt. That's a One Belt initiative. And this is that meeting. So a main player in this prophecy is Russia. Gog and Magog. The Rush. So I mentioned, we read about the Hezbollah and how the people, the nation of Iran, gave them a bunch of missiles. So it's going to get hot. So now, let me come over here. So this is prophecy. Really, you got to read this whole chapter, 2nd Ezra chapter 15, but I'm right here at the 25th verse. It says, I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. For Yahweh knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth. And they're not even talking about Ukraine and Russia right now. This is a whole nother thing. They got their eyes on a completely different region of the world, which all that area is right in the Levant. We've been telling you this for years. It's happening now. But something's got to happen. That's something that GM has been teaching for years. You know what I'm talking about, before the actual destruction comes and we get delivered. 27th verse, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. See, you have this major war between Russia and Ukraine, right? Now you got this major war that took place at one incident last Saturday. Thousands of people been killed inside of 7 days. Really, 7 days. And it looks like it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. So while these wars are going on, people around the world are doing business as usual. It says in Luke 21, as in the days of Noah, as in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. For the Most High shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Beholding horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nation of the dragons of Arabia, Ishmaelites, you know, this Midianite Ishmaelites, shall come out with many chariots, weapons of war, and a multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Now, these Arab nations that go to war with Israel, they all also call them the U.S. an enemy because the U.S. is backing them up. So this is, terrorism is a different war, a different type of war. You go in as a regular person, you go into a store, a major place, you're just a regular citizen. All of a sudden, you strapped up. You got a suitcase nuke or whatever. So this is not going to stop, man. This is not going to stop. But other nations, there will be business as usual. So when the missiles come, guess what? There's going to be when the missiles come out the sky, when your house shot come out, when we start getting beamed up, people are going to be purchasing things in different parts of the world. People are going to be getting in their cars. People are going to be at the car dealership. People are going to be getting on planes. People are going to be getting arrested, hemmed up. Skittles are going to be walking around. So it says, so when you read Second Ezra chapter 15 and really Second Ezra chapter 16, really 15, those plagues upon people are talking about certain regions around the world and in this country. In America, you're going to have people living good, and then the state next to it, in certain areas, you're going to have people, like today, you go out to L.A., certain parts of L.A., is a major homeless situation going on out there. Then you got the migrants coming up. If you're going to tell me that the U.S. is all right and it's good, no. People are saying this is the end of the U.S. Like they said, Rome. When you go back to pagan Rome, when you go into the history of Rome, during the time of Nero, which is Trump coming back. That's Trump. That's definitely Trump. Trump is Nero. Looks just like him too. During that time period of the year of the four emperors, Otho, Galba, Vitellius, and Vespasian, inside of a year, there were three of the emperors or the Caesars that were put to death, and the one that remained was Vespasian. Now, during that time, people were talking about Romans done away with. Romans gone. Romans, this is the third emperor. Like if you heard in the U.S. a president gets shot, right? Then they get another president and he gets shot. Then you get another third president and he gets shot. You got three presidents back to back getting assassinated. You're gonna start saying America is dead. So the same thing with Rome. And when Vespasian came into power, he had to do these great public works to show that Rome is not dead or is not dying. One of the public works that he did was the Colosseum, which was that time was called the Flavian Amphitheater. It was an amphitheater at that time. So that was that. Today they still have people still go to the that amphitheater, that Colosseum. So it's first called Flavian. I believe it was Flavian's Amphitheater, something to that effect. But Flavian was in the name. That's his line. Flavian, the Flavian dynasty. So it says, let me read on. It says, let me get ready to close. It says, also the Carmanians raging in wrath. Also, they mentioned about the dragons of Arabia. It says, also the Carmanians raging in their wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power, military power, shall they come and join battle with them. And who's going to join battle with them? They're going to join battle with the dragons of Arabia. and shall waste a portion of the land of Assyria, of the Assyrians. The Assyrians is code for the U.S., Babylon. So they're going to destroy part of this place. Remember, Ezekiel 38, Russia's going to back up the Persians, which are the people of Iran, which are the Armenians. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, while it was a wild ass in Genesis. He's against everybody, and everybody's against him. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians, which is America, Babylon, shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them. There goes a part of it. The major damage is going to come from the lasers from the ships and those missiles, which is the Most High's army. Joel 2 speaks about this army. That's the missiles. That's what Joel saw. And in their hosts shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings, among the rulers. Behold, because this thing is out of hand. This thing in Israel and the Palestinians and Hezbollah and Iran backing it up and Lebanon, this thing is getting out of hand, man. It went from the Hamas, Israel versus Hamas, to Israel versus Hamas and the Palestinian people, to Lebanon, Syria, and Iran, which are called proxy wars. His people that add into the war. So this pretty much we're in World War III already. It said, behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. They shall smite one upon another, and they, Zechariah 14:12, on down, a great tumult, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own stars, and blood shall be from the sword unto the belly, and dung of men unto the camel's hoof. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth, and they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and tremble shall come upon them. So long before the missiles come, there's going to be wars in certain areas of the world. They're going to all commence in the Great Levant, the Valley of Decision, Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat. And then shall there come great storm from the south and from the north, and another part from the west, and strong winds shall arise from the east, and shall open it in the cloud, and then the Most High, earthquakes and tornadoes and hurricanes and so forth. So the Most High is using nature to attack these people up in wrath, and the star stirred to cause fear toward the east, and west wind shall be destroyed. The great and mighty cloud shall be puffed up full of wrath, and the star, that they may make all the earth afraid, and them that dwell therein, and they shall pour out over every high and eminent place and horrible star. So this is the end of this place. This is the end of this place. 41st verse. Get ready to close. Fire and hell and flying swords. What do you think a flying sword is? A missile. So Ezra looked up and saw those missiles, and he said he looked like swords flying in the air. Fire and hell. What? Fire and hell come from what? The missiles. Revelation Revelation 9, around about the 16th verse. Fire and brimstone. Hell about the weight of a talent. So that's something that John saw. Apostle John saw. Fire and hell and fire and flying swords and many waters, that all fills may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters. Now, when you go to Revelation chapter 8, when it speaks about a third part of this and a third part of the sea, that's talking about the same thing that's going to happen. And they shall break down the cities and walls, mountains and hills, trees of wood and grass of meadows and their corn, and they shall go steadfast unto Babylon and make it afraid. Because now the focus is on, I'm gonna close on this. Now the focus is on not just Israel, but on the U.S., because the U.S. is back in Israel with monetary gain and military. Israel has a strong military because of the U.S. So this is getting hot, man. Getting hot. Anyway, with that, oh, I'm sorry. You know what I'm going to do? Now, let me come back over here. '30th verse. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild bulls, wild boars of the woods. It said they're going to help. They're going to join forces with the dragons of Arabia, right? Which are, for the most part, to give a word on it, the Arabs. Arab is a generic term. It just means mix. Ishmaelites and other Middle Eastern people. And a certain portion of them Palestinians are Israelites, I believe. So now I want to focus on the word Carmanian or Carmanians, and I did this previously. If you go to Carmanians in the Bible, I put in Carmanians and said in the Bible, it says 2 Ezra 15:30 makes reference to the Carmonians or Carmanians. These were people from Carmania, a fertile province of ancient Persia. So you got Iranians, because of this war and around the world, they're saying, I'm not Iranian, I'm Persian. And they're not lying, which are Elamites, which are Shemites, situated on the north shore of the Persian Gulf, modern Kerman. It is a mountainous region separated by a desert from Persis, southwest part of Iran or Persia. So Cyrus was a Persian. Who are the modern day Carmenians? Showing you that Esau knows. Carmenia, Greek. Carmenia, Old Persian. Romanized. Carmana, Middle Persian. Kerman is a historical region that approximately corresponds to the current province of Kerman or Iran, and was a province of the Achaemenid, Seleucid, Parthian, and Sassanid Empire. If you go, like if you come over here, right? Let me see. Where is that? There's an actual encyclopedia called, I believe it's called the Encyclopedia of Iran. It didn't come up. Okay, it says here, Bible Gateway, Carmanian Encyclopedia of the Bible. And it makes mention of 2 Ezra 15 and 30. This is the only time it's written in this. And it says pretty much the same thing. Anyway, with that, it's on to the next one. Shalom.